Hello, everyone.
Welcome to the Spirit Lounge podcast with me, David.
And me, Glenda.
And we are psychic mediums from both sides of the pond.
I'm in Australia.
And I'm in the UK.
And we're joining forces to discuss and talk about the world of psychics, mediumship, and all things spiritual. We might even throw some random life topics in there too.
So come with us now on our podcast journey. Let's see what's happening in the Spirit Lounge for today's episode. Well, hello, listeners, and welcome back to the Spirit Lounge. I'm here, as always, with the lovely Glenda. Hello, Glenda.
Hi, David, and hello, listeners. How's your week been, David? Have you been good?
Always me. I'm an angel. I'm perfect.
My little
wish.
glitter queen. My glitter queen. Yes, you are perfect.
No, I wish.
So,
I done it perfect today because if people could see the screen, I've got no eyebrows on. I've not done my hair, so I look lovely.
oh, you always look lovely. You're so radiant,
Not this
little
morning.
butterfly.
Don't know about that. I feel like a cocoon at the moment. Anyhow, so this is part 2 of our episode that we entitled "The Shit That Psychics and Mediums Say." So,
Okay.
Glenda, I want to talk about firstly one of your favorite ones. Spirit told me.
Which one? Oh God, I can't stand that one.
So,
Spirit told me.
so
Oh,
what's your issue, Glenda?
but did they really? Did they really tell you? Like, because I don't hear any of that shit, that they don't tell me that sort of stuff. Like, I think I just want to say, liar. You're a liar. Spirit didn't tell you that. Oh, I said Spirit didn't tell you you should do that. No, they wouldn't have said that. I just think that it's a catch hook that people use a lot on Instagram, social media. Spirit told me,
Yeah.
and then they start their little thing. It's just I think it just catches a lot of people because people always want to know what spirits say. But half the stuff that they say that spirits say, I just don't think it's possible. I don't think some of the shit is real that they're saying because I'm so perfect and I know everything. No, it's just like, I just think that I just can't fathom some of the stuff that's coming across. It's just not real. I don't, it's, I don't even know where to go with it.
Well,
It just can't be real.
can you give an example? Would you give it so the listeners know what we're talking about when someone says spirit told me? What kind
Well,
of
I
things do you
always
see?
say like, oh, I see a lot of this. Spirit told me I should buy these like crystal bowls. No, they didn't. You fucking wanted them and you went and bought it. Don't say Spirit bought you that 'cause Spirit would never tell you go and buy that sort of stuff. Or it's like, oh, what's another one that I've seen just recently? Something about Spirit told me, I don't know. I'm so tired I can't even think anymore. I
It's those
can't.
occasions. It's when spirit told me I should do this, or spirit told me I shouldn't do that, and spirit told me it's it's almost that thing of by saying, "Oh, spirit told me I need to read for that person." Spirit told me that I should walk up to that person in the supermarket and give them that message.
That's it.
That
That's it.
it's I don't necessarily believe that because one, spirit wouldn't put you in uncomfortable positions anyway. And I feel like that's used as a cop out because by saying, if someone makes a decision that's gone wrong and then they say, oh, spirit told me to do it, you are trying to remove any accountability that you had and blaming it on a spirit, which I think is quite rude anyway. And so I think that people need to take some more personal responsibility and accountability for their actions and the decisions that they make, rather than say, well, spirit told me. No, they didn't. You're just trying to blame someone else for a mistake that you've made. And look, it's okay for a mistake to happen. We all make mistakes. None of us are perfect, apart from me. No, only kidding. I'm not perfect whatsoever. And so it's almost like we want to give that responsibility to someone who ain't here. but it's
Mm,
about owning your shit, owning up for when you have made a mistake, owning up for when a decision has gone wrong, and not saying, "Oh, spirit told me." No, they
mm,
spirit didn't tell you. We do get inspiration, of course, and we'll get
yeah,
those little prods, those little nudges, as we call them, to do a certain thing. But it's not spirit saying, and from our opinion anyway, it's not spirit saying, "Oh, you must do." Like when I wrote my book, for example, I kept getting that prod from spirit to write the book. They weren't saying in my head, "You must write this book," because ultimately, I've got free will as to whether I write the book or not. Right. So I kept getting the
yeah,
nudges, maybe write a book, maybe write a book, and I then made a choice of, okay, let's work with it, let's see what we've got, and therefore the book was born. But I could have been in my rights to say, no, I don't want to write the book and not write it. But that's my responsibility. That's my free will that's chosen that. And so I think, and so I can't. I mean, I would give credit there, give spirit their due. That without the inspiration, I probably wouldn't have even written the book. But it wasn't like they were saying, "Write the book. You will write the book. You will write the book." Because I could have easily said no, because never in a million years did I think I'd write a book. But I did because I put my effort into it. And as you say, if I go into a crystal shop, I'm like a magpie with crystals. I might
yeah.
pick a crystal up and feel it and go, "Oh, that feels right to me. I quite like the feel of it." But I've got a spirit in my head saying, "You must buy that crystal. You must buy that one right
I
now."
know.
Because if you look at those kind of things, what spirit was that? People say, "Oh, spirit told me to go on a holiday." No, it didn't. It might give
Yeah,
you
that's it.
the advice to do it. But if you look at those things, like people might say, "Oh, spirit told me to buy that car." Well, if you actually look at it, if we look at spirituality or spiritualism, that's the opposite of materialism. So if that's the case, buying a new phone or going on a holiday or buying a new car, that's all material stuff.
Yeah.
Why would spirit want us to be materialistic all of a sudden?
That's it.
And
That's what I've
so,
heard. That's the one that I was thinking of. Spirit told me I should go to do that trip in Peru. Did they? Really? Are you sure? Are you sure they told you to go to Peru because it's spiritual and you should do that? Or maybe you just were craving to do that, or maybe that was just one of those nudges that you felt. Um, but spirit telling you you should go to Peru and do that. I don't know. It just sounds a bit vague to me. I
yeah.
just find those sort of things a bit hard to believe.
And so when they're there and they spend too much money on that holiday that they didn't want to spend, they can then say, "Well, it's spirit's fault. They told me to come on this holiday and I spent all this money. Now I've got none." Well, that's because you spent it. That's because you didn't work out what you wanted to spend. Don't go blaming spirit now, because
I think a lot of
you
people
listen to
get,
them when you wanted to go on the holiday. But do you know what I mean?
but I think a lot of people get that also confused with your intuition and spirit.
Yeah.
Oh, I was driving along and I got this nudge to change lanes, and the next minute there was a car accident. Was that spirit or was that your intuition?
Mm.
So I think a lot of people get these sort of things confused and they just say, Spirit told me, unless you hear, you know what I mean? We say your intuition can be also quite loud in your head. Move, turn,
Yeah. Yeah.
left. You know what I mean? Is that spirit or is that your own intuition? I think that a lot of people confuse this as well.
Mm.
So it can be when I think when you've been doing it for a while and you start or this is where it irritates me is someone hears that you do this, excuse me, for a living. Like, oh yeah, she's a psychic. Oh, you know what? I'm psychic too. That's another one I can't stand. I'm psychic too. We're all fucking psychic. Yeah, excellent. But it's them and then they go into, yeah, spirit told me to do this and then spirit told me to do that. And I just sit there going, oh my God, do I have to listen to this? Like every time you meet someone new and it's kind of like, yeah, spirit told me I had to do this and spirit told me that. I just sit there cringing going, no, they didn't. You just wanted to do that. You just wanted to, I think that people get confused.
Yeah.
Maybe it's that, or I like to make excuses for dum-dums, or it's just like, we do a lot of things because we want to do them. We can't
Exactly. Yeah.
keep saying, Spirit told me. Spirit told me.
Yeah.
So people need to stop using that and stop irritating me with social media posts. Spirit told me, or I'm going to put one up next week and say, Spirit told me.
That you are a ex put the expletive in there. Um,
Yes.
Now, as I'm saying, what's just dropped in my head because this is something I want to talk about as well. Is now, as we always say, people that these are just our opinions, right? And so we never say that what we say is necessarily a fact. And that's another thing that I want to talk about is when there are a lot of these social media um mediums who, when they're talking about certain topics, they talk about them as if they are a fact. Like, let's say, reincarnation, Glenda's favorite, soul contracts, and just other
You just wait.
and
I was actually, you just wait. I'm actually bringing on my mentor to talk about all of this with you, David. So keep
okay,
going.
and other topics like that. Um, Now, what we have to be aware of is that in this industry, th not everything is a fact, because if it was a
No.
fact, we'd all be saying the same thing. Now, if you look
Hmm.
at, let's say, one thing that can be factual, which we can agree on, are the mechanics of mediumship. We talk about the clear senses. Every medium, every psychic will talk to you about the clear senses because no, they
Yeah.
are factual, right? So that is a
Yes.
fact. But when it comes to say things like reincarnation, we that can't necessarily be proven, although there are lots of stories and testimonials out there about it.
Yeah.
You'll notice that we all have different views on it. So if you listen to our interview with Nick Brown a couple of weeks ago, he has a very different viewpoint on it than maybe Glenda does. And so
Yeah.
therefore it's not factual, it's just an opinion. And I think
Yeah.
sometimes with social media, it can be quite dangerous because people have their favorites, they have their favorite mediums that they follow and they watch. And when that's the case, they all believe every single thing that comes out of that medium's mouth. But actually, most things in this industry is just an opinion. It's not factual because although that might be that medium's experience, that's their experience for a reason. Maybe it's their life, how they live their life experience has lent itself to what they're experiencing spiritually. But that's not the same for everybody else. Because if these things were factual, we'd all be saying the same thing. And so I can understand why skeptics out there look at this work and saying it's a load of old bollocks because there are many people saying different things. You can't get one medium, two mediums which say the same thing, which line up together because experiences are different. Do you know what I
Yeah.
mean? So I think
Yeah.
we just have to be, as humans, be discerning. I mean, do we all look at politicians and believe everything that comes out of their mouths? No, we don't. We
No.
have to discern for ourselves what we feels right to us. And what my guide Dolly once said to me is that I have to come to my own conclusions. So when I first started learning, I've spoken about this before, is that I would read 4 or 5 books on the same topic, and every single book would give a different answer. And I think, then what am I paying attention? What do I believe then? What do I listen to? Who do I listen to? That's when Dolly came back and said, no, you got to come to your own conclusions.
Exactly.
What resonates with you? What feels right to you?
And
So I can
you'll
look.
know when
I
it
know you'll
does.
know. I will
You'll
say your
know.
your your
You'll know.
soul will know what's right when it feels
Yes.
it,
Yes.
and also being aware that I mean many people pay more attention to these big mediums with bigger followings, but just because they've got
Yeah.
a bigger following doesn't mean that what they're saying is factual. Because again,
And that
we're
it's right.
and that is right because we are talking about a world we can't see. We're talking about an ethereal, invisible world that we cannot see, so we don't have tangible evidence for everything. So we just have to be aware when you're watching things on certain platforms is don't believe everything you see. And I don't care how much you like that medium or follow them. Because we always say we don't have all the answers. What we talk about in these
No.
podcasts are our opinions. Things might wind us up as they have done in these episodes, but that's because what we see we don't feel is right because we have that discernment. But it is just our opinions. I'm not going to tell anybody to believe in reincarnation or to believe in this or to believe in that. You have to go out there and figure it out for yourself because I don't have the answer. I don't even know myself if I believe in reincarnation or soul contracts. So
Yeah.
I'm not going to sit here and tell other people to believe in it or to not believe in it. It's completely up to you. But I think we need to remember
Absolutely.
we are not sheep. Don't be a
Yeah.
sheep. Don't just follow the crowd because everyone
Exactly.
else is believing it. You have to go with what you and feel empowered to believe what you believe in. And if I think what you believe in is a load of shit, I might talk about it in an episode. I'm sure other people out there will be doing the same thing on their podcasts. But
No, it's just
but we just
ours.
have
It's just ours.
to but you just have
We
to
call it out.
yeah, but you just have to be careful because I do see things on social media and and that's why I'm talking about it in this episode because things make my toes curl and I actually worry sometimes because some of the trash that's put out there, which I think can damage people, but people will believe it. Again, it's that fear factor. If something's more fearful, people seem to pay more attention to that than to something that's not. So
Yeah.
it's just
But
be
but
discerning,
it
people.
and they also say, well, how do you know this? My spirit guide told me. Everyone's spirit guide tells them different things. Well, who's right? Who is right?
Exactly, exactly.
Who's right?
Yeah,
So I hear it all the time. Oh, my spirit guide, and because they have thousands of followings, people believe it.
you'll believe it. Yeah.
Well, but your spirit guide, what your spirit guide's saying, it doesn't align with me. It makes me feel icky and it makes me feel awkward. So I'm sorry, but that doesn't gel with me. So people use your discernment. What feels right to you? Does it feel yucky? Does your tummy crawl, or are you having your belly doing somersaults when you hear some of this stuff? You got to trust that it's not
Yeah.
aligning with you. So don't believe everything you see, read, hear.
No, because again,
So
if something was factual, then all spirit guides surely would agree with each other and would all be
yeah.
receiving the same message. Otherwise, what you're saying is that your spirit guide trumps mine. So what makes your spirit guide right over my spirit guide?
Well, someone would argue that and say that they're more evolved than
Well,
you
prove
are.
it. Prove it to me.
They
If
would.
if
That's what
that's
they'd say.
factual,
Yeah.
then prove that to me.
Yeah.
How would you know your spirit guide's more evolved than mine?
Yeah.
Prove that to
That's
me.
what they say. Well, I'm more involved in my journey with, this, and this, and you just go, okay, whatever. I can't do it. I can't argue, and I can't go down that path with people with who's right and who's wrong, and I don't want
No,
to go down that path. I trust myself and my gut and what feels right for me. And just because you say to me this, and this, I'm not going to agree with that just because you say that. Do you know what I mean?
exactly.
Like
Yeah,
it's, but also having the balls to say, well, actually, I don't agree, but that's okay. You know what I mean? That's okay. But I'm not going to
yeah,
stand there and argue with you and say, no, I'm right, you're wrong. You just have to trust yourself. We're all going to have different opinions. We're all going to have different beliefs. We're all going to have different values. But again, just be discerning. Don't listen to everything that you see. And you're going to go to a lot of workshops and you're going to go to a lot of spiritual stuff. Some of it might not align with you, and that's okay.
that's
Like
okay.
David said, don't be the sheep and the followers like everybody else just because somebody is cool and somebody's got the following and somebody's got the gift of the gab, or, the
Yeah,
showmanship is really great. Don't fall into that. Just trust what you feel about the whole thing. And if you're wrong later on, you call it out and go, oh, yeah, I fucked up. Yeah, I can see now, what it
yeah,
is. But we all have gone through that. We all have been down that at the beginning of our journeys. We've all been suckered on that journey of going to this workshop and then going to this event and then going to this event. And then at the end of the day, you just go, I got nothing out of that. I got
I think,
nothing.
yeah, that's that the continued growth and development. Because as you said, Glenda, when you first start doing the work, you know you learn certain things, and it's not until you get a bit further down the line in your journey where you
Yeah.
experience certain things, you go, oh, well, what I learned first time, actually, I don't think that is correct. Doesn't feel correct to me. And even if I look at the book, my first book, just get the plug there, Come Down to Earth, some of the stuff that's written in that book no longer applies to me, which is why I'm
See?
trying to write a second book. Because because that book was based on the first few years of my development, and my
Yeah.
viewpoints on that development have changed, and I work a different way and I see things a different way. But I think that that's not dismissing whatever I learned, because obviously it added to my foundation. But um, as you grow and again you experience different things, you then see actually what fits you, what feels right to you. And some things you learn in the beginning will not apply to you now. You know, look at our journeys itself. My mediumship this year is not the same as it was last year or 2 years ago, because it all
Yeah.
evolves and develops as long as you're open to doing it and you're open to have your mind changed. And so yeah, so just be discerning people, be open to learning new things or learning new ways of doing things as well, because that will just add to your development. And it'll just give you that room for
Absolutely.
expansion and growth within your ability. So never keep yourself stagnant. Always try and keep
No.
yourself moving.
And you're going to keep evolving with this, you're going to keep changing your points of view and the way
Yeah.
that you feel
Mm.
about things. That's just human nature, you know?
Yeah.
So, David, tell me a little bit more about what you feel about haunted dolls and
I've
all these little things that people
oh,
give power to and are
God.
afraid of. Like I remember back in the day when, voodoo dolls and people put hexes and curses on people and people pay certain witches and mediums and that to take spells off them and break curses. Like, tell me your thoughts on that.
How long have we got? So,
If you could only see David's
this-
face.
if we, again, people, this is just my opinion, because I know there are going to be people out there who will disagree with what I'm going to say, but that's all right. And because I always give examples to give my reasoning behind it. So, firstly, if we look at talk about like the curses, the voodoo, all that kind of thing, one of my followers had messaged me the other day, um, where she told me she had to block a psychic because the psychic kept messaging her saying, "You have got a curse on you that and you've been cursed since you were a baby." And no, it goes into all that stuff. If you pay me this amount of money, I can help you and get rid of it. And although she kept blocking the psychic, it's almost like they'd made a new page to resend the message to keep going after her to say, you're cursed, and all that. So obviously I said, my darling, you are not cursed. That's my opinion. You are not cursed. Just block and delete this person. And so she did. But I think with these psychics that send you that kind of information, I think we need to understand that they are not psychics. They are a scammer. So the
Yeah.
scammers will, and a scammer is just an ordinary person sat in their basement of their mum's house, stinking behind a computer, pretty much. I heard someone
Yeah.
always describing them, they smell like Cheetos. These little people sat behind their screen pretending to be a psychic. So they are not psychics. They are ordinary people, but they are scammers. All right. So whenever you get The majority of the time, whenever you get those kind of messages saying you're cursed, it isn't coming from someone who could give you a curse. It's coming from someone who sat behind a computer, feeling really brave, normally a faceless profile, trying to make money because they are um, a what's the word I'm looking for? No, that's a really strong.
Scammer.
I was going to say generic. What's the word I was gonna use? It's left my brain. Maybe it wasn't meant to say it. Um, but yeah, they're just scammers. So that's the first thing that I'll say. The second
Yeah.
point to that is about curses itself. Now,
Mm.
I personally, just my opinion, I do not believe in curses. I don't believe that
Mhm.
anybody else has the power to put a curse on you and to put something negative into your energy. Because as a person, you own your energy. No one else owns your energy. I can hear an echo. Can you hear an echo?
No.
I can hear it at my end. Um, I think it's gone now. But yeah, you own your energy. You to have ownership of that. So I don't feel, I always say nothing can come into your energy unless you invite it. And that includes curses. Because otherwise, what you're saying is someone insignificant to you, someone you've never met before, has the power to affect your energy, you and your energy.
Yeah.
So I don't believe that's possible. But also to add to that, if we've all got and this is like attachment, I don't believe in attachments either. I know I've got friends who believe in attachments. I personally don't. Because again, how can something attach to you that you don't let in? And if
Mm.
we've all
I
got,
think it depends. I think it depends with attachments. We can go down rabbit holes with that shit.
but the thing is though, if we've all got spirit guides,
Yeah, in that way, I bel yeah,
then your spirit
yeah,
guide needs to be sacked. But if your
yeah,
spirit guide is there to protect you, why would they allow you to be cursed or to have an attachment to you? If they're all high
yeah.
and mighty and protective and they want the best for us and they're like a friend and whatever, why would they allow an attachment to a person? Now, I'm not talking about
I
mental health
agree.
hit
I
stuff here.
agree.
I'm talking about these demonic entities that people say attached to you.
I I agree.
Then sack your spirit team if that's the case.
I agree.
Doesn't make sense to me.
I think we can have attachments with energy with people because we're amongst so many people and everyone has attachments to us. I feel like there's leeches of energy vampires of people that constantly just drain you and things like that. That I
That's
think that
different. So I'm talking
that's
about
exactly right.
these
But just
black
making it
demonic things
clear.
that people say
That's right.
that have got
Just
attached to us.
explain it. We're just explaining the difference to people. So when you someone says to you, I've been told multiple times. I remember years ago when I stood there with this guy that was, I don't even know what he was. He was a worker at my at one of my so-called friends' houses, and he turns around to me and he says to me, "Oh, you've got a dark aura." And I'm like, "Here we go. Here's another one." And I said, "Oh, yeah, what do you see?" And he says, "Oh, you've got an attachment. You've got
Wow.
a dark aura." And I just went, "Really?" And I just thought, fuck you. But you're not going to fucking put that shit on me. I said, "Really? Do you think maybe it's all the drugs that you're doing or your past that you're actually still attached to?" I just freaking hammered him with the psychic straight up. And he just kind of looked at me and I thought, no, fuck you. You're not going to be putting that dark, negative shit on me.
No.
I've been cursed. I've had people say to me, someone very close to me saying, you're cursed. I'm cursing you, so your marriage falls apart and all of this shit. And I think, 25, 26 years we've been together. Well, your fucking curse is up the river, isn't it? So, I don't believe in it. You own your power. And if
Yeah.
you're believing this, you've just handed your power over to somebody else.
Yeah.
Do not believe this bullshit. It is about taking your power back. You have that, and no one can do this. No one can do anything to you in this way that if you don't allow it. It's the same as people trying to read you and you giving them permission or not permission. There's like,
Yeah,
you can shut the door. I've met other me psychics in town and kind of had a chat to them. I said, "Oh yeah, so did you try and read me?" "Yeah, I did, but I couldn't get anything off you." I'm like, "Yeah, motherfucker, that door's shut.
yeah,
I don't give you permission to read me." Like, and that's telling me, and I have a giggle because I go, "Yeah, that's my spirit guides doing their job.
yeah.
You're not invited in." And
No,
that's what you need to remember. Do not invite this shit in. If you believe this, you're inviting this shit in. So you're stepping into that dark side. I don't believe in the dark side. I don't dabble in the dark side. I don't have
no,
anything to do with it. You do, you're going to have shit in your life.
yeah.
Things are going to go wrong for you. And I've also had someone very close to me say, "Oh, I've been cursed. Something bad's happened to me today. My shower head fell off the wall and hit me in the head." I
You're not
had
cursed,
to
love. Just
laugh,
need your
David.
plumbing needs sorting out.
Yeah, and at the same time, I'm just like, well, what the freaking hell are you doing in your life that you think that you're cursed, that you believe that someone is that hates you that much. You know what I mean? It's like why are you surrounding yourself with these people? And that's like I say, when someone says that to me, I'm just like, hang on, you're not my people. Who are you? What is going on in your life that you think that you're cursed? Why are you believing this? Again, we go back to that discernment. You need to be discerning about this bullshit. People are just taking the mick and taking your money because you're going to hand it over to break the curse.
Yeah, and I think come back to what we said earlier about the fear thing as well. Fear breeds fear, and I think because
Yeah.
look, who wants to be cursed, right? So if you are someone who might be in a negative space in your life, and then some
Mm.
fucker says to you, "Oh, you're cursed," you're going to believe that because you feel like you are because your life's in a bad space. That's just
Yeah,
life. You are not
that's
cursed.
right.
But if someone says that to you, again, you're gonna believe it. And hopefully you don't hand over money like these people want. They want that's what they want. They want you to hand over money and remove this curse, but your life's still going to be shit because there's no such thing as a curse. It's just life. And so again, it's that thing of um people getting a kick out of putting the fear into people. So that scammer would be getting a kick out of saying to that my follower, "You're cursed." They would have got a kick out of that.
Yeah,
Otherwise, why would they say it? And again, it's to
it's
put the
because you,
frighteners on people because they know that
that's right.
fear breeds fear. And when you're fearful of something, you will do whatever you can to get rid of that fear. And if that's handing over 300 quid, $300, whatever you want to call it, then people will do that because who wants to be cursed? But there is no curse to be had. And so, as you say, Glenda, it's just about people being discerning and not falling for it. Look, we all go through bad periods in life. Life is tough at the minute as it is, and a lot of people have been through a lot of hard times for many years. Does not mean you're
Yeah,
cursed. It's just unfortunately that's just the circumstances you found your life to be in at that point. But it does not
that's
mean
right.
you are cursed. It's just life. Curse to me is like ghost. It's a buzzword.
Yeah,
That's all it is.
yeah, that's right.
But moving on to
That's
haunted dolls.
a witchy thing. Yeah,
Yeah.
a witchy thing in the haunted dolls. Yeah.
Oh
So how do you
God,
go with
right.
the haunted dolls?
Haunted dolls, in my opinion, have I'm not just talking about Annabelle, but I've seen people, I've seen UK mediums um, who I no longer follow after they started doing all this shit, um, go on to our morning TV programs. Like you have the Today Show and whatever else over there. We've got like
Uh-huh.
this morning, all that.
Yeah.
You can actually see this online where you have psychics, mediums go on to their this morning show presenting their haunted doll sat there with them, whilst the owners of this doll or previous owners join in the subject and talk about how this doll shagged her husband and all this bollocks, right? And I
It's not a
I
blow.
just, and I
We're talking about blow up dolls or haunted
no
dolls?
haunted dolls, not blow up. No, exactly, and that's why I'm
Oh.
laughing. Or are you laughing? Because it's an actual like a porcelain doll that woke up in the night and it shagged her husband. I'm like, no, That's
What?
your that doll does not shag your husband. I'm very sorry. Um, and I always say it when it's only our opinion, but I'm really sorry. An inanimate object like a porcelain doll has never shagged anyone's husband, right? Uh,
Maybe one made of plastic. Yeah.
with big rubber lips, maybe. But
Yes.
here's my thought process behind it, right? If you're saying a doll is haunted, what you're saying is some random entity has taken possession of an inanimate object. Now,
Mm,
let's try and think about this logically. Because then what you're saying is that doll is possessed. Now, actually, before I go on to what I'm about to say, let's be clear and say that there are certain things that do hold energy, right? So whatever
yeah.
you touch can contain your energy. So a doll that's in your possession will contain the energy of you, but or a part of the energy of you because you are holding that doll. That's very different to being possessed and being haunted. Like people say, like your car keys, your door handles, your wallet, your what is why that's why little psychics do psychometry because objects hold energy. That's
Yeah.
fine. I can go with that, but it's very different to an item being haunted or being possessed. And I think it's more the possession that is more kind of what I'm talking about here. Because if you look at possession, and look, I'm not um, an expert in it, I'm not a paranormal investigator, but if you look at things like haunted dolls and possessions, that's going more down the paranormal route and not got nothing to do with mediumship. But if you look at what a possession is. If an entity wants to possess you, they want you to do their bidding. So if you look at all these um, examples or what's the word I'm looking for? Look at these reports of like people being haunted. You've got films based on them as well, right? Um, an entity wants to possess a person because they want to communicate through a person. Because a person with posable arms and legs and got a gob on them and whatever else, they can spout and they can speak what the entity wants them to talk about, whether it be your mother sucks cocks in hell, whatever, whatever it is from the ex. They want, they want, they want. Glenn's got,
Do
I'm gonna
not
start laughing.
edit. Do not. Do not edit that out.
But that's what the entity wants. They want that living person to spout these things or to spout these.
Still laughing.
Just wet herself there. um, yeah, they want us to
Your
spout
mother
these things.
sucks cocks.
I must have cut that bit out. I'm laughing too much. But that's what I'm saying. The film,
No,
isn't it? Your
don't
mother
cut it
starts.
out. That is so funny. You can't edit that out. Everyone's going to
No,
be
right,
pissing
I'll carry
themselves
on.
laughing at it.
Um, but yeah, no, that's what the entity wants. They want the human that they've taken over to say these things. They want that human to slap people about and to climb up walls and to do all this business, right? That's possible because they're a human. They've got the ability. How can an inanimate object like a porcelain doll or even a plush doll, how can they do that?
I
You
don't know, but
cannot,
I'm still
you
laughing.
you cannot manipulate an inanimate. You can manipulate the free will of a human, but you cannot manipulate the free will of a doll, and that's what an entity wants to do. So therefore, I
Yeah.
don't believe in haunted dolls because a doll is not going to jump off the wardrobe. A doll is not going to shag your husband. A doll is not going to tell you to fuck off or make you go. Otherwise, you might as well say to that doll, right, go and make me a cup of tea, go and do the housework because you've suddenly got the ability
Yeah.
to do it. Go run me a bath. Go on. Do you know? Is it
And do
none
the
of that?
floors.
Exactly. Go and wash my car. My car's not been washed for months. Go and do that, seeing as you're suddenly posable. So
Exactly.
none of that makes sense to me. And I just, again, I feel like it's people in the industry taking the piss out of what we do, again, just for their likes and for their shares and to up their numbers.
Yeah.
But people are believing it. And I think, why? Why do you believe that doll is going to haunt something or call? People might suddenly have, I don't know, you hear stories of people bringing dolls home and a picture falls off the wall or there's a little fire in the kitchen. That's got nothing to do with the doll. Maybe you've got issues with your electrics. Maybe there's something else going on in your house. Your doll is not causing that. I'm really sorry. I don't believe that's the case anyway. Um,
I've
and
thrown stuff
even
out, but like for energy wise, like if I've been gifted stuff that I'm not talking to a person anymore, we've parted ways, or there's been like a negative fallout in the past, or there's been some negativity around it, I will throw stuff out because I don't want it in my house because it's got that person's energy on it. Like I'm about energy, but I don't believe that these dolls are doing these things that people are saying. I really don't.
no, also just reminded me, um, somebody I know, I don't actually don't want to name them, I don't want to cause many issues, but they're another medium who has who is a friend of a family member who is a psychic who has a supposed haunted doll, and he questioned him about it, and he said, "Why do you put all that on social media? You've got a haunted doll." He said, "Well, it's not really, but it gives the numbers, doesn't it? It ups my numbers." So
Mm,
people are also doing it purposefully because they know that for whatever reason, people are fascinated by the fact that a doll could be haunted, and so these psychics are using it as a way of marketing themselves to sell something, which, in my opinion, is you're selling people down the river,
fraud,
but they're still
fraud.
getting these
Yeah,
these numbers in. And so no, anyway,
that
that's my
sucks.
really long answer to that question.
Hey, I'm with you there. I think it's funny, and you've made me piss myself laughing, and I'm sure everyone else that's been listening has been laughing too, and nearly crashed their car. It's fantastic, David. You always keep me laughing. So what else is on your little list? I'd love to hear.
This one is more about um, us giving ourselves credit, not as in us two, but us as in mediums giving ourselves a bit more credit because um, I hear a lot when we do a really good job, whether it be in a dem or a private reading, the person will come up to you at the end, especially when I do dems, people will come up to me at the end and say, "Thank you so much for that reading. It meant a lot." Now, at
Yeah,
this point, I always say, "Well, thank you for saying that. You are welcome," which I feel is I'm perfectly entitled to do. But there will be other mediums who say, "Oh, it wasn't me, it was spirit." To me, that's a little bit false. That's a little bit disingenuous. I want to stick my fingers down my throat, kind of thing. Because whilst, yes, spirit are working through us and with us, if they didn't have us as the vehicle, they wouldn't be able to get the message across. And then it comes back to what we talked about earlier on about us giving our time, our energy, and our skill set that we've worked towards to be able to give that message in the first place. And so now I don't say, "Oh, it wasn't me, it was spirit," because to me, I don't resonate with that because to me it sounds too sickly. If I just say, "Oh, it was spirit," it sounds too airy fairy and woo woo for me, and that's not my character. So I can't. But I understand why other people will do it. But I just feel like no, let's give us some credit. And actually, someone said that to me. Another medium said that to me, who I gave a message to. I didn't know they were a medium at the time, and she actually come up to me and said thank you. And at that time, I said, "I think it was spirit, wasn't it?" And she went, "No, it was you as well. You arrived here. You worked on that platform. You gave that message to give yourself some credit." And I always remember
Peter,
that
yeah,
we need to
Peter
give
Williams said
ourselves
it to
some
me.
credit. We are doing the work. And
Yeah,
it's not easy. People don't understand that being on the platform in front of a load of people, it's not an easy thing. But we are tuning in, we are forgetting all the worries we've had that day. And look, we get worries. We are not exempt from life. We are not exempt from stress, anxiety, depression, all this other stuff that we have the same issues. But when we go to a dem, we have to put those aside and tune
yeah,
into spirit to do the work that we do. So we need to give ourselves some credit. And I know some people get embarrassed about it, and I do as well. When people say thanks, that was great, I kind of very timidly say, "Oh, thank you, you're welcome." I don't sit there going, "Oh, thank you very much. I know I was great, wasn't I?" Do I do that? No, of course I don't.
Uh,
But I do
no,
say, "No, thank you, welcome. No, they did a good job," and that's how I leave it.
yeah,
But it's giving myself and anyone listening, give yourself the credit because you are doing it. And do you know what? I talking about compliments like that, because I know some people feel a bit funny about saying thank you or whatever. I don't know why, but I watched a very short interview with Lady Gaga, who I'm not a fan of personally, musically, but she said something in an interview. She said, um, "I've learned that whenever someone gives me a compliment, I used to shy away from it. But she said, what I say now is I say, when someone says to me, that was really great, a good reply is, well, thank you. I appreciate that because I've worked very hard to make this show as best as I can. So thank you for appreciating that."
true. You
And I
do.
think
And
that's a
then we
great
do
way to
when we do
respond.
this.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And I never thought about it, but back in the day, or a couple years and years ago, Peter Williams that we had on earlier, Australian
Yeah.
psychic medium,
Yeah.
he said that to me. The day you realize that you're doing this and you need to take that credit for that, and I was like, but it's spirit. It's you. It's you doing it. When spirit comes through, we connect and we do it together. Do you know what I mean? But we're doing it. We're doing it. So you have to take that thank you.
So how can you continue to
Um,
do a good job if you don't see the value in what you're doing?
yeah,
How can you continue to
yeah,
improve if you don't recognize the value and say, actually, do you know what? I did that. I made that difference. Yes, working with spirit, but I was the one there at that moment to give that evidence, to
doing
give
it.
that message.
Yeah.
Because not everyone
You
would give
took
that
the
message
time.
give that message in the same way either.
That's right. It came through at the right time, at the right when that person needed it. Like, just you should be able to say thank you. But I think a lot of us struggle sometimes to say thank you, but some of us even struggle to even take things from people. Like I struggled years and years ago when someone just wanted to buy me a cup of coffee. No, I can buy my own cup of coffee. No, I want to buy that for you. Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you for buying me that cup of coffee. You should be able to accept things, and we should be able to accept compliments because we cop so much negativity. I mean, only yesterday or the day before, I had some loot guy get on my post about I'm saying, don't be a mirror or don't be like the sponge, don't absorb all the negativity within yourself. He gets on there and calls me a fucking scammer. It's like, really? I just think that we work so hard for what we do, for what we put out that um, we should be able to accept a compliment. It's not
Yeah. And I
wrong,
think,
and it's not
no,
ego.
no, it's not. It's not. But I think also complimenting people in general will lift people. I think sometimes the world that we're in, giving people a bit of a compliment where you can, but not just in this industry, but maybe it's a friend or a family member who's a little bit down at the minute, give them a compliment. Lift them up a little bit. And it's not
That's
to,
right.
and if you, as long as you mean it, it's not about kissing ass. I don't do any of that. But as
No,
long as
me either.
it lifts people, then give them, and you actually mean it, give people that compliment because it can go a long way.
Absolutely. Tell someone they look nice. I like the dress that you're wearing today. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Those those little
just
things.
don't put your hand on their fanny while you're saying it, and that becomes and that becomes a different thing, doesn't it?
Or don't take their doll.
Yes,
The husband might want to take
yeah.
it
Mind the
home.
our husband want to take it home. Yeah, dear oh dear. Oh, some of the shit we hear, honestly. But I do think, Glenda, I mean, there is more to talk about, but I think this is a great place to end this episode. We might be back with another one. You never know. There's so much more let's talk about. However, we hope you found this episode useful. I don't know, actually. Useful, insightful, funny. Uh, And yeah, if you have any topics that you want us to talk about, related to any of the shit that goes on out there, then please do let us know, and we'll turn it into a podcast episode. So Glenda, as always, it's been a pleasure.
Yes, it has. It's been funny.
And thank you all for listening, as always, and we'll see you again next time in the Spirit Lounge.
Thank you so much for joining us in the Spirit Lounge today. We hope you enjoyed the discussion.
Yes, and if there's a spiritual topic you'd like us to discuss, or if there's a spiritual question you'd like our input into, then please send those topics and questions to us at glenda-marie1@hotmail.com, and we will get to them as soon as possible.
Lastly, if you could like and share this podcast, as well as leaving us a comment or review about what you thought, then that would really help us out and we'd be very grateful.
We would indeed. But it's bye from me.
And it's bye from me.
Join us again soon in the Spirit Lounge.